I'm sorry. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good. How are you? Okay, semua. All right.
Good.
Before we start, anything from last class? Any question? Any comment? No. All right. Good. Now today we are going to continue from where we left last class. I will continue with another type of externality, and this is positive externality. It's a positive consumption externality. In fact, there are types of externalities. I will briefly just go through them. What we have done, last class, we are looking at negative production externality. So what we've done, we already looked at the negative production. The next one, which is in the book, the second part of the book, consumption externality, and that is the positive consumption externality. Now, the other type is, again, production externality, and we have positive production externality. And then the consumption, you have negative. So the book does cover only these two things, the negative production and the positive consumption. But from the model that we look at, we will extend, okay? We will extend to analyze also positive production and negative consumption. So these are the four types of externality which we are going to look at. So we're going to look at this one, okay? The positive consumption. Okay, so next one is the positive consumption. So here, the consumption of a good, consumption of a good will affect positively a third party, and that effect is not reflected in the market. So that is a positive consumption of, a positive consumption externality of the concept. Correct? So it's the consumption of a good by consumption of a good that affect that party positively. So here we consume something, okay? Consume something, a good. Consumption of a good or service by the market effect a third party, affect another person, okay, another person. So that is a simple idea. Consumption of a good by someone, okay, by us, affect another person. So here by one person. Now, this one, you have so many examples. The consumption of a good that affect negative. We are talking about positive. That affect another person here positively. Okay, positive effect. Okay, give me one example. Consumption of a good that affect positively another person. or if you're looking in terms of the market, all right, consumption of a good or service affect a third party. Okay, so if you look at the definition in terms of the market, I mean it's affect third party. Now, what is an example? If you read the book, you know, if you read the book, what is the popular example they give you?
Fire prevention.
Fire prevention. Fire prevention. Not really. Here, you know, we consume something, and that consumption create an extra benefit to the society or to the third party, or, you know, in simple terms, to someone else. Okay, one good example. Okay, this example has been here, you know, since many years ago, and now it's more important. Basin, you know, basin? Vaccination. Suppose vaccination. You know vaccination? When we were small, you know, when you were small, you are given, or we are given, actually in my time when we were small, you are given vaccination so that we have immunity against malaria. You know, malaria is a type of fever that was very bad. If you get malaria, 90% you're going to die. And that effect is worse for babies, you know. So when you were born, after you were born, you know, you are given this vaccination. And that vaccination will create a positive externality, positive consumption externality to others. Why? By consuming this vaccination, the others will benefit positively. No, how do they benefit positively? If, let's say, I was vaccinated when I was young, you know, then how does it affect the society?
Then in the case that you were infected with malaria, you wouldn't be able
the society will not be infected, and the society as a whole become more healthy. Okay, so that is a positive effect. If you go to what we are doing, what we have currently, you know, in the epidemic COVID-19, the vaccine, which we have not discovered yet, if we have, you know, that will generate a very, very significant positive externality to the society or to other people. So everyone, anybody who consume that vaccine, who are given the vaccination of COVID-19, number one, it's good for yourself. Number two, it can prevent other people from getting the same illness. So that is a positive consumption. So if you look at the book, they give you the vaccination. Okay, vaccination is a very, very popular example of positive consumption. All right, that is one example. In simple example, positive, negative consumption externality, you can see, you can see quite a number of them. But positive consumption externality, these are a few examples. All right. So the benefit to the society by consumption of that good would be higher than the benefit to the person who are involved in the market. So here, the benefit to the society is bigger than personal benefit. Okay, benefit, personal benefit. That means benefit of the consumers, okay. So of the consumers, that means the agents in the market, market agents. So in other words, the consumers and the suppliers. So the benefit to the society is larger. So you have a positive effect. So now we're going to look at more detail in this discussion. So here, the effect would be on the demand function, the consumers. Okay, on the demand, which is the consumers. So the externality will be there, will be here. And for the supply, marginal cost, there will be no change. Okay, you just have the marginal cost, which is the supply function. The effect here is on the demand function, which is the consumers. So like I said earlier, the society, the effect on the society will be larger than the benefit on the consumers or the benefit on the market. So here you have the margin, the total social benefit, okay, TSB, that means the total social benefit will be larger than the personal benefit, okay, call it PB. So this is the personal benefit. So that benefit, the extra benefit to the society or to the third party is reflected by what? Reflected by the external benefit. So therefore, we have the total social benefit is equal to the private benefit plus the external benefit. So that external benefit is the benefit to the society. Okay, so here are the external benefit to the society and third party. Or that will define the social third party. I'm sorry, third party, or we call it that will reflect the society. Now this extra benefit, this external benefit, is just like external cost. It will not be measured by the market. When the person who consume that destination, he doesn't take into account the benefit that he generates to other people into his decision-making process. He just consider his own benefit, but indirectly there is external benefit. Okay, it's not reflected in the market. So here, not reflected in the market when they make the decision. Just like the external cost. So the external benefit, sometimes it's implicit, you cannot measure like you purchase the good, okay? The benefit externally would be like what? Would be like improved health. What else? Improved health, and then that means you are going to be happy. So that is the benefit. So the benefit to the society will be larger than the benefit to the personal or to the people that are involved in the transaction. So we go by the same process. You take the marginal, then you got the marginal social benefit will be larger than the marginal benefit, which is the personal marginal benefit, plus the marginal external benefit. So that would be our marginal social benefit, which is equal to the marginal benefit plus the marginal external benefit. For now, like what we did earlier, we assume the marginal external benefit is a constant. All right, so constant. So let's look at the model again. So we're going to use the same model, the demand supply model, and we're going to see how it affects the market. So let's do it. So here, you have the diagram, you have the Q, you have the price here, and then the demand function, that is the supply function, the marginal cost equal to the supply. And the demand function, of course, that is the marginal benefit. All right. again here, we just look at the market equilibrium. Market equilibrium, demand equal to supply, you get the equilibrium here, call it EC. You've got QC, the price will be PC. So under the market equilibrium, you got equilibrium is at EC, where the price equal to PC, Q equal to QC. All right, now that's the market. Now the social equilibrium, when you take into account the marginal external benefit, so we see here the society or the marginal external benefit or the marginal social benefit is larger than the marginal benefit or the personal marginal benefit because of the externality. So if you look at some points, okay, just like we were doing last time, so that we want to know, where is the marginal social benefit will be. Say Q1. At any Q, say Q1, the personal benefit will be here. Now, the society get additional benefit, okay, through the marginal external benefit. So in other words, the marginal social benefit will be larger than the marginal benefit. So therefore, will be somewhere there, okay? And similarly, if I take another point, say Q2 here, the marginal benefit or the marginal personal benefit will be there. But the society value it more because of the externality. You get the marginal social benefit part there. So you have the marginal social benefit function would be above the personal benefit function. So that is it. That is it. And that is the marginal external benefit. Okay, the difference. Because of the positive consumption externality, the marginal social benefit will be larger than the marginal benefit. All right. So that, of course, can also come directly from this expression here. The marginal social benefit is equal to the marginal benefit plus the marginal external benefit. And that marginal benefit is constant and that is bigger than 0. So you can also get the marginal social benefit will be above the marginal benefit curve by the amount of the marginal external benefit. Okay. Any question? Any comment about the functions? About the line? Good. All right. Now, for the social equilibrium, when you take into account the MEB, the equilibrium will be what? The equilibrium would be, I forgot something here. The market equilibrium, demand equals supply. Or the marginal benefit equal marginal cost. Okay, this condition here is very important. How you got the equilibrium. When you look at the social equilibrium, in the society's perspective, you got the marginal social benefit will be equal to the marginal cost, which is the supply function. Yeah. All right, because the externality is only on the demand function, not on the supply function. So you got the MSB equal to the MC, and the equilibrium will be here. As we can see, that is the social equilibrium. And of course, that will correspond to output level QS, the price level PS. All right? So you do the comparative statistics. Okay? Do the comparative statistics. What happened compare the two equilibrium? What can you see? So equilibrium would be ES, P equal to PS, Q equal to QS. Okay. Now, what can we say about the social equilibrium relative to the market equilibrium?
QS is more than QC.
Okay, you'll see number one, the okay, the QS is larger than QC. And number two, we also see the price is higher. Okay, the price is higher. So what you see here is that the social equilibrium quantity is higher than the market quantity or the competitive equilibrium quantity. At the same time, the social equilibrium price is larger than the market price or than the competitive price. So that reflects a simple, just like a demand increase for the good. So when the demand increase given supply, what happened? We are paying more. Okay, we are paying more, and you get more quantity exchange. So the analysis will just be similar to a situation where you have demand increase. Okay, demand increase, supply do not change, then you will see the same effect, because the marginal external benefit, if you look at the diagram, is just reflected by what? By an increase in the demand. So that would be the effect on the market. So what we say, from there, we will say that the market, if you just let the market operate without taking into account the marginal external benefit, then the market produces too little output or too few. Okay, too few output. Since, okay, we know QC is less than QS. So the market will underproduce that good. Okay, the market will underproduce. For example, the vaccination. Okay, now vaccination, normally the cost is very high. So if you let the market produce without considering the external benefit, then the market will underproduce that good. Okay, so that is the idea. By taking into account the marginal externality, or by internalize the marginal external benefit, or when you look at the social equilibrium, therefore, we need more, we need more output than the market has to offer. All right. Okay. Now you look at back at the diagram. This area is called the social, not the social. This area here is called the net gain. Okay, the net gain due to the external benefit. All right, the net gain to the society due to the external benefit. Okay. Now, how do you say it's a net gain? Again, here we look at the equilibrium. You want to look at the net gain. We look at the movement from EC to ES. Okay, you look at the movement. Now you go back to the diagram. Let's say the output level is QC. Okay, output level QC from the society's perspective. Okay, that means you compare the MSB. Here is the marginal social benefit. Look at the value of the marginal social benefit, and then you compare to the marginal cost. Okay, so at QC, what can you say about the marginal social benefit? That means the additional benefit to the society, and the marginal cost. Because now we are looking at the interest of the society. Okay, so like I said earlier, like we said earlier, the market equilibrium will not be optimum. The social equilibrium will be optimum. So at QC, the MSB is bigger than the MB. What happened? What happened to the output level? if the marginal benefit, okay, is larger than the marginal cost, what happened to output?
Increases.
You produce more, okay? So here, you see here, at QC, you see the marginal social benefit is larger than the MC. So this is not efficient. Okay, this is not efficient because the efficiency level, the efficiency condition is MSB equal to MC. All right. So if the marginal benefit is larger than the marginal cost, that means it is profitable to produce one more unit of output. All right. So the marginal social benefit bigger than the MC, that means we increase output. All right. You increase output. And you will increase output until where? Until the point where the MSB equal to MC. That would be the static or the stable point, or that would be the equilibrium. Then Q is equal to QS. So therefore, that triangle, okay, that triangle is the net gain to the society due to the positive externality. All right, so that is the net gain to the society. So basically the effects are, there will be higher quantity, higher price, and there is a net gain to the society. Okay, all right. So that is the negative consumption externality. And to look at some specific, or to look at more closely, look at the book. Okay, you go to the book. Go to the book on page apa? Go to the book. Oh, I cannot see that. Okay, go to the book on page diagram 3.2. Diagram 3.2. So look at the book. The diagram is 3.2. Figure 3.2. You will see the positive externality, and that is positive consumption externality. So if you look by the numbers, right? Just go back to the example. This is on the vaccination, inoculation, sama lah, inoculation, vaccination, same. So you see the number of inoculation per year here is million. So I don't have to write. I don't want to draw another diagram. So here the units is million of vaccination or inoculation, and this is the price, okay? The price or the marginal benefit, the marginal cost. And if you look at the example, the competitive equilibrium QC is 10, the QS is 12. The price would be here 25, and the PS is 30. All right. So you can see here, there is an increase in the number of inoculation by 2 million. And of course, the price will go up, because of the external benefit. And that one is easy to see. We can compute also the net gain. All right. So again here, the net gain, since we are taking it, or we are considering the constant MEB, so you can use again the formula for the net gain. We just equal to half the delta Q, get the change in the Q multiplied by the change in the price. It's not actually change in the price. It's the, remember the one that we were doing? It's multiplied by the marginal external benefit. I'm sorry, it's not change in the price. That is the welfare, that is the market welfare gain. Change in Q multiplied by the MEB. Okay, so if you look at this diagram, what is the MEB? What is the marginal external benefit? The marginal external benefit is equal to, is it written somewhere? The marginal external benefit is equal to 20, correct? So MEB is 20, and the increase in the vaccination is 2, and the MEB is 20. So the net gain would be equal to, 2 and 2 would be what? Million. So it would be 20 million. Is it million?
Sorry,
Yeah.
sir. Where did we get MEB equal to 20?
Equal to 20. How do I get that equal to 20?
Yes, how?
And, they didn't write it anywhere, okay? But you can see from the diagram. If you look at the diagram, the MSB is equal to MB plus the MEB. Is that right?
Yes.
So how do I get 25?
Deduct MEB from MSP.
Yeah, so you deduct take the
MBB.
difference at the any point, okay, any point, because here you assume the MEB is a constant. So here the point is given at QC, okay, at the point QC where it is Q equal to 10, you can determine the MEB because that is the difference between the MSB and the MEB, which is 45 minus 25. So because I was looking at the paragraph, they didn't mention about the MEB. So we can look at the MEB, all right, which is equal to the MSB minus the MC. So at any point, since you assume the MEB is a constant, so same everywhere, so that is a convenient assumption because everywhere will be the same MEB. So here you can find the MEB at QC, which is equal to 10. And the difference between the MSB and the MC, or you can use also MB, doesn't matter because that would be the, no, I'm sorry, should be MB, not MC, because we're looking at the marginal external benefit. MSB is equal to what? 45. What is the marginal benefit? Marginal benefit is 25. So the MEB is equal to 45 minus 25. So that is 20, right? Because normally they should give us, the amount, but we can get it from the diagram. So that is the marginal external benefit, which is 10, and then you get the net gain. No, I'm sorry, 20. 45 minus 25. So that is equal to 20. I write 10? Yeah, I write 20. So 20 times 2 over 2, that you get 20. So that will be 20 million. So the net gain will be 20 million. The net gain to the society by moving from the market equilibrium to the social equilibrium. So you see here, the positive externality, which is positive consumption externality, the net gain is by what? It's obtained by increasing output because positive effect to the society. So we want more, all right? In terms of the negative externality, which we discussed earlier, the negative production externality, the net gain is enjoyed by reducing output level because the society value it less than the market because there is a negative production externality. Okay, So that's how you, or I mean, that's the discussion on the net bill. Okay, any question or anything?
So I have a question, sir.
Okay, sure.
Is it the market under consume or under produce? Because just now you said under produce, but this is the positive externalities of consumption.
That's true. It should be under consumer because we are talking about consumption. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's not under produce. Under produce is under the, we're talking about the firm, you know. Here we're talking about the consumers. So we under consume. Okay, thank you. Okay, anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Now, if you see, you know, something not consistent, or you see something that I say doesn't sound good, you know, get back to me. Okay, give a comment or you ask me. Sometimes I didn't remember that. I mean, it's not that I didn't remember. I say underproduce what I thought is underconsumed, but I say underproduce, which is not exactly the right word. Okay, so anything you let me know, because people tend to do things that is not right. Okay, any other thing? So that is on the negative positive consumption externality. Okay, now next we are going to look at a case of negative consumption externality. So next type of externality would be negative consumption externality. Our consumption of a good, or the consumption of 1% of a particular good, generate a negative effect on another person. And that effect is not reflected when you do the decision to consume that good. Or in terms of the market, the consumption of a good, okay, the consumption of a good affect negatively a third party. So in other words, the cost to the society, or there is a negative effect. Okay, so when there is a negative effect, there is a cost. There is an external cost to the society. So what is an example of a negative consumption externality? I think this one is easier to come up with, because there are many things, you know, people consume, and that give us negative effect. Ada example? Any example?
Oil for your cars.
Apa dia?
Oil for your cars, gas, cigarette.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to another person?
Cigarette smoke.
One example, one very common example is smoking. Okay, smoking of cigarette. If someone smokes cigarette and the smoke affect other people, correct? Other people. That means it doesn't affect positively, it affect negatively because of the health effect. So an example would be smoking. Okay, cigarette smoking, or just smoking, not necessarily cigarette. Now people smoke, you know, the one that they use liquid. What is the name of the thing? Cigarette smoking.
Vape, sir.
Apa nama benda? Vape. Vape, or vape. Now people vape, and that vape, you know, the smoke is like smoke from fire, you know. Sekali keluar macam asap kereta. Alright, so that is one example of cigarette smoking. It affects negatively other people. Alright, so the value, okay, the benefit to the society due to the negative effect would be less than the personal benefit. Alamak, my internet. Can you still see? I mean, can you still hear my voice? Because my internet is not very stable now. So the negative consumption externality, the effect is negative to the society. All right. So the social benefit or the benefit to the society will be less than the personal benefit. That means for example, smoking, the benefit of smoking goes to the person who smokes. That is the personal benefit. But due to the negative effect, the benefit to the society as a whole, or the social benefit, will be less than the benefit of that guy who smoked, right? Because of the negative consumption externality. There is a cost, okay? There is a cost. No, it's not benefit, okay? There is a cost to the third party due to the smoke. So our benefit will be less than the personal benefit. So in other words, if I put the total social benefit, it will be less than the total benefit. When I say total benefit, means the total personal benefit. All right. In terms of the marginal, you will see the marginal social benefit will be less than the marginal benefit. So when you draw the diagram to look at the position, all right, of the marginal social benefit curve and the marginal benefit curve, you can see now the position relatively, okay, the difference. So let's draw the diagram. Now, when the marginal social benefit is less than the personal benefit, how does the curve look like? What is the shift in that position? So let's say I have, let's say the marginal benefit is there. That is the marginal benefit. That is the marginal cost, which is the supply. And of course, you have the equilibrium, EC, that corresponds to QC, PC. I think I put up. Macam mana pula balik ke bawah lagi? Okay, EC here. All right. So due to the negative externality, the consumption of that good generate a negative effect to third party. So the marginal social benefit will be less than the marginal benefit. So look back into the diagram. Where should be the marginal social benefit? Below or above the marginal benefit function?
Below.
Should be below lah. Okay, should be less than. So therefore, the marginal social benefit will be down there. Again here, you can see it by making use of any output level. All right, any output level Q1. Here, the marginal benefit, and we know that, right, at any output level. So say Q1, we know that the marginal social benefit will be less than the marginal benefit. So from the diagram, you see the marginal benefit is up there. The marginal social benefit is less than that. So it should be below it. Okay, so you can do it by yourself, whatever the gap is. So that gap would be the negative external effect to the particular party. Okay, so the MSB is below the marginal benefit function. So we look at the social equilibrium. Over here, social equilibrium ES. You got QS. You got PS. All right. Now the next thing is, what is the difference, okay, between the marginal social benefit and the marginal benefit? So the marginal social benefit is equal to the marginal benefit. Now, the effect is negative, okay? So that is an external cost, okay, external cost to the society, because by inhaling the smoke from cigarette, it affects your health and it affects you psychologically, okay? If you have asthma, due to the smoking, due to the smoke, you may cough and you may need to use inhaler. So there is an external cost. And in terms of external benefit, let me see. In terms of external benefit, because what we heard, we're talking about benefit. So how do you relate to that? It would be just like the negative of the benefit. Okay, the external cost is the negative of benefit. Then you can see the difference. The MSC is MB minus MEB. That means the MSC or the MSB, I'm sorry, will be less than the MB. By what? By the negative of the marginal external benefit, which is the marginal external cost. Okay, so the marginal, you can view this as the marginal external cost is the negative of the marginal external benefit. So if I go back to the diagram, that would be the marginal external cost. Okay, the marginal external cost, or the negative of marginal external benefit. So you have to subtract. Okay, if the marginal external benefit is positive, that means due to the negative effect, you have to subtract. So that the marginal social benefit will be lower than the marginal benefit. Okay, any question about this? Okay, now you go back, or we just use the same approach. We look at the competitive equilibrium. Okay, now I think we have done 2 models already. So what I want you to do, I want you to get the competitive equilibrium, summarize the competitive equilibrium, and then summarize the social equilibrium, and then make the comparison in terms of the quantity, in terms of the price. Okay. And can you do it now? Finish it up. And also, okay, also I would like you to look at the net gain. Okay, which area is the net gain? Identify the net gain to the society.
يا ونتي عليكم يا أهل الحاي. دخلنا ليفك. أيوة عسل. دو سكواد. أخ. وين راح؟
Abdullah, what language are you talking about? Huh? Are you talking in Arabic or what? What is it? Abdullah?
Sorry sir. Yes.
Huh? Who are you talking to? If you're talking in my class, please
My
use English.
roommate, he passing through me.
Okay. If you're talking in the class, use Arabic. Not use Arabic.
Sorry about that, sir.
Use English. Okay. So, what can you say about the equilibrium? The competitive equilibrium, you will get QC and PC, and the social equilibrium, you get QS and PS. So, what can you say about the two equilibrium?
The QS is smaller than QC.
So number one,
PS
you look at the price, you look at the quantity. Then number one, you see QS is less than QC. So here, what we say would be the market overconsume. Okay, the market consume too much of the output of the good, okay, or the service. Too much, here is too much. Or the market overproduce. Tadi ni apa? Overconsume, I'm sorry. We are talking about consumption, correct? So overconsume. And of course, you know, because of the negative effect, the society value less, so the price will be lower, okay?
PS is lower than PC.
The price is lower than PC due to the negative effect. Okay, due to the negative effect, the society is not willing to pay more, okay? The society is willing to pay what? Willing to pay lower price, okay? Lower price than the market price because of the negative effect, correct? And the if you look at the diagram, the demand, okay, effectively the demand will be reduced. So the effect will be just similar to the effect when the demand go down. Okay, now that is the effect on the price and the quantity. Now what about the net gain? Where is the net gain? So as we did earlier, okay, net gain, you look at the gain, all right? Look at the gain in terms of the reduction in the Q or increase in Q when you move from the EC to ES. Okay, so you start from the Q at QC and you see what happened at QC by making the comparison of the MSB, the marginal social benefit, and the marginal personal benefit or the marginal benefit. What can you say about that? And then what happened to Q? So at QC, what can you say about the marginal benefit relative to the marginal social, I'm sorry, not marginal benefit and the marginal cost, not the marginal benefit. And we are comparing the marginal social benefit and the marginal cost. Okay, it's not the marginal. Look at the marginal cost. So you look at the marginal cost, okay, compared to the marginal social benefit. What can you say?
At QC, the marginal social benefit is lower.
At QC, you'll see the marginal cost is larger than the marginal social benefit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When the marginal cost is larger than the marginal benefit, the firm will what? You know, you go back to the firm. If the marginal cost is larger than the marginal benefit, what will the firm do? The firm will reduce output. Okay, because the cost is higher, cost of producing the additional unit of the good is higher than the marginal benefit of producing, they will produce less. Okay, they will not they reduce the output by one unit. So similarly here, the marginal cost of producing that good is larger than the marginal social benefit. The additional benefit to the society is less than the marginal cost. So what we'll do, we'll produce less output. And you will continue to produce less output until you reach the point where the marginal social benefit is just equal to the marginal cost. So therefore, the area here is the net gain. Okay, the net gain to the society. So you see here, all right, we start at QC, okay. You see that the marginal cost is larger than the marginal social benefit. That means to produce one more unit of a good will be larger than the additional benefit to the society. Okay, so what do we reduce output? Okay, and that will go on up to where the marginal cost equal to the marginal social benefit. And of course, you know, this is the social equilibrium. So Q equal to QS. So in the case of the negative consumption externality, yeah, we already said that the market will consume too much of the output or overconsume. Example, cigarette. That means, you know, the market consume too much cigarette. The society wants less. Okay, so that is a negative consumption externality. Okay, any question, any comment? Okay, good. All right. Okay, we have one more, you know, one more externality. That would be the production externality. No, the positive production. But before we discuss that thing, I would like you to look at the question, okay? Question at the end of the chapter. I would like you to do this question. Now, you discuss, okay? Discuss with your friend, with your group, the following. For the review question. Review question is just to review our understanding. Okay, for the review question, there are many questions there. For now, probably you can do number one. Okay, number one. Actually, the other questions are the one that we have not covered yet. So that's okay. We can do that later. But I will give you the question 1, 4. Or maybe, yeah, maybe 2. 1, 4, 2. Okay. And then you can do number 5. You can do number 6. You can do number 8. And then number 10. Now, this is just review. For now, okay, I think for now we can answer question number 1. The other question we have not learned yet. Number 1, yeah, number 1, and number 2. Okay, the other things that will come later. Okay, for the problem, like normally I do, you know, I give question number 1. And then question number 2. Question 3 and 4, you know, they are more related to environmental things. So I'm not going to cover this. Now, the problem, these problems, if you happen, because I discuss the problem every semester, okay? So if you have the solution to the problems from your friends, I don't want you to refer to it yet, okay? Don't look at it yet. I want you to do it by yourself first, okay? Try first, and then only refer. Don't look at it, and then we say we can do it because we look at what people have done. No, don't do that, okay? We want you to try, okay? Try do it first by yourself. Discuss with your friend. And then after you have done, if you want to refer to the past year solution that you may have from your friends, that's okay. But try first, all right? Don't just refer to that because it doesn't help. Okay, it doesn't help in our understanding. So the thing is, we need to try. Okay, we need to spend some time solving it by ourselves, even though it is wrong. Okay, but that's how we learn. Okay. Okay. The last part of externality is the positive production externality. So we already discussed the negative production. All right, the negative production externality. We were talking about the marginal social cost will be larger than the marginal cost by the amount of the marginal external cost. So that one we know. But now it's a positive production cost. No, positive production externality. Here you have production of a good. Okay, production of a good or service that affect positively other people. That affect positively on a third party. Or in simple form, production of a good that we produce positively affect another person. Okay. We can think of this as if you produce, let's say, around in your house, you plant beautiful trees, flowers, okay, green, and then colorful. That can be considered production of trees, right? And that generate happiness, that generate oxygen to your neighbor. Okay, your neighbor will feel the pleasantness from your trees. So that is an example of a positive production externality. So in that case, it gives you a positive effect. That means we want more. Okay, we want more of that good. So people should plant more trees. All right. One classic example, if you look at the textbook, one classic example is the apple bee. Apple bee, I don't know what is the term they use, but apple bee externality, apple bee externality. I don't know what is the, there should be another word. Apple bee. But apple bee example is this. This is originally in the US, where they have apple plantation. All right, they have apple farms will locate near beehives. Beehives producer. Now, beehives producers, they produce honey. Okay, so the production here is in terms of honey, So why is that so? Why the apple farms normally locate near the beehives?
Because the bees helps reproduce.
Because the bees help pollination of the apple. So that is the positive. The bees, okay, will pollinate. Pollination will help the pollination process. So the bees will pollinate the apple. So you will get higher production of apple. So this is an example of positive production externality. I think in our country, I think there are similar, people that raise bees normally, or it benefit both ways, actually. The bees benefit in terms of producing more honey. So the benefit is mutual, actually. In our country, I think, when you have bees, you want to produce honey, you have to keep the bees. Normally they keep it near the kelapa sawit plantation, the palm oil plantation, because we have so much, or we have so many palm oil plantation, and they can get honey from the palm oil flowers. So that also help the pollination. So I think that is one example. So that is a positive production externality. So the classic example is the apple bee example. All right. So what do you have here? So here it's production. So when you look at production, you are looking at the cost, okay, at the cost or the producers. So you know that, okay, because of the positive effect, right? Because of the positive effect, now you need to compare the marginal social cost and the marginal cost. Okay, due to the positive effect, all right, of that good, and the effect is on the third party. Now, what about the cost to the society compared to the cost to the firms that produce that particular good?
The cost to the society is higher than the social cost to the society is higher than
the personal marginal cost. Okay, or I think we should look at the cost first before you go into the marginal. The social cost, all right, would be smaller than the personal cost. Okay, so this is the cost to the firm, and this is cost to the society. Because of the positive effect of the production of a particular good, okay, the cost to the firm is in fact higher than the cost to the society, because the society benefit, okay, the society benefit from that production. So the cost of the society will be lower than the cost to the firm. It's the opposite of negative externality. In terms of negative production externality, because of the negative effect of, let's say, the pollution, the cost to the society is larger than the cost to the firm. Okay, here is the other way around. Due to the positive effect, all right, the social cost is less than the personal cost, and therefore the marginal social cost will be less than the marginal cost. So if you would draw the diagram, but now I think we can locate the diagram easily. If you draw the diagram, you will see that is the marginal benefit. That is the marginal cost. Okay, that's marginal benefit. That's the marginal cost. So here you got, of course, the equilibrium, competitive equilibrium. You got PC, and then I got QC. Okay, due to the external benefit, the marginal social cost is less than the marginal cost. So how do you locate the marginal social cost? To the right or to the left of the marginal cost? Look at one output level, call it Q1. Okay, at Q1, the marginal cost is higher than the MSC, or the MSC is less than the marginal cost. So therefore, the MSC will be there. Similarly, if I take another point, say Q2, the marginal cost is larger than the MSC, so therefore our marginal social cost will be that one. So the marginal social cost is to the right of marginal cost. So you just treat like increase in supply. Okay, situation is similar to the case of increase in supply. And that is our social equilibrium. So what is the difference here? What is the difference? How do you get that difference? So you got the marginal marginal social cost less than the MSMC. So the marginal social cost will be equal to MC. Okay, so in the negative externality, you have the MSC equal to MC plus MEC. So you got, the marginal social cost higher than the marginal cost. So now the marginal social cost is lower than the marginal cost. So how do you relate the marginal social cost and the marginal cost? By that thing here. Okay, so remember the thing is there is a positive benefit. Okay, so that will be equal to plus marginal external benefit, because there is an additional benefit to the society. Okay, in terms of cost, okay, because we are talking about create positive benefit positively. So in terms of cost, that will become MC minus MEC. So that's why you got the MSC is to the right of the MC or less than the MC by the amount of MEC. Okay, or MEB. MEC you have to subtract. Okay, so that will give you the MSC. The MSC is equal to MC minus MEC due to the positive production or negative external benefit due to the production. So in other words, there will be lower costs. Okay, there will be lower costs to the society due to that external benefit. In terms of the apple bee example, the apple farm do not have to raise bees for pollination, because that comes from the bee farm. So indirectly, it reduces the cost of the apple farm. Okay, and similarly for the bees producer, it doesn't have to create an apple farm in order to produce the honey from the bees, because they can benefit already from the apple farm. So therefore, think of it from that perspective. Reduce the cost. Okay, reduce the cost to the beehive, to the bee farm. So again, if you make the comparison between the social equilibrium, all right, and the market equilibrium, QC or on a EC. Okay, what can you say? We'll do the comparative statistics again. All right. You first look at the competitive equilibrium. What is the condition? Okay. And then you got Q equal to QC, P equal to PC. And then for the social equilibrium, what is the condition? And then you got QS, you got PS. And again, make the comparative statics in terms of the comparison, between the output and the price. Okay, I think by now we are able to do that.
So we can see that QS is more than QC.
Okay, you will see the QS is larger than QC, and the PS is smaller than PC. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
you will.
No, I'm just saying yes, sir. That's true.
Okay, so that means the market, all right, the market underproduce. Okay, the market underproduce the good. The society wants more. Okay, so that would be the discussion on the effect. So number one, you look at the competitive equilibrium or the market equilibrium. You state the equilibrium condition, demand equals supply, then you got this. And then you look at the social equilibrium. The equilibrium would be the MSC, okay, the marginal social cost equal to the MB. All right, here marginal cost equal to MB. Then you discuss about the output level, okay, and the price. So observation number one, you'll see QS is larger than QC. All right. Number two, PS is less than PC. So here, meaning the market produce too little of the output or too few, okay, too little of the output. So in other words, underproduce. The society wants more, okay? So that is the positive production externality. So during the weekend, I would like you to review back the four models, okay? Negative, positive, you have the production, you have the consumption. Negative, positive. No. We have the production, you have the consumption. So go home, review this four diagram, and then you look at, how the marginal social equilibrium, how the marginal social curve is different than the personal curve, and then look at the market effect, okay, in terms of the output, more importantly, output, and also the price, and then look at the net gain, all right, the net gain to the society. So finally, the net gain would be, where is the net gain? The net gain is movement from EC to ES, so I think that would be the net gain. At EC, marginal cost is equal to, let me check again, because it can be the other one. Yeah, it should be here. At EC, you have the marginal cost higher, have the marginal social cost higher than the marginal benefit, or the marginal benefit is larger than the marginal social cost. So what happened? We produce more. Okay, so that will be our net benefit. Yeah, kita guna net gain. Net gain. Yeah, it can be net benefit. So that will be the net gain to the society. All right. Okay, good. So I think that's it for today. Because there is another class after this. What you do, I mean, there is another lecturer using Zoom. We have limited Zoom, so we have to share. So like I said earlier, if you have time, you try the question, number one and number two. Probably number one, for the weekend. And then review the four models, all right? Four models, make sure you understand the diagram, we understand the comparative statistics, and then we know the net gain, okay, and effect on the market. Because what we want to do next is that we are going to look at the next stage, okay, the next part. How do we internalize? How do we make sure, okay, that the market will take into account the external cost or the external benefit. So that is what we call internalization process. So that we'll do next week, inshallah. Okay. So anything? Any comment? Any question? Nope. All right, good. I'll see you again next week. Have a nice weekend. Take care. You know, the COVID-19, especially in Selangor, has been rising. So take care. And we'll see you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir.
Salam.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.